while we were in line, I'm the one casting. And then I think it was Melanie and Elizabeth that looked over and was like, "Oh, are you casting too?"
I don't know what to tell you, but I'm in line with Miss Belgium and Miss Canada, and they're asking me if I am also a model. So I ain't saying I got it going on, but I got something going on over here.
You got something going on, baby. I'll tell you what, but you look good, babe.
Welcome back to the Meant to Be podcast, the last podcast you guys will ever need. As always, I am your host, Marvin Williams, and with me every single time we have the beautiful Rachael and Williams. Say hi to the people.
Hello, people.
Yes, and today we got a lot of things to cover. We are talking Paris Fashion Week. Before we get into all of the good and the bad that comes with Paris, Rachael and I recently went a little viral on TikTok and Instagram. To all of our new flowers. All of our new flowers. Give me a second here.
It's adorable. To all our new flowers.
Right.
Thank you so much.
God. To all of our new followers, thank you all for finding us. We are so glad that you are here, and we hope that you stay for a while. With that video that you guys saw, that was so fun. We got like 50-something thousand views on TikTok.
Currently.
Well, 50,000 likes on TikTok and like 11,000 likes on Instagram. Now, with that, we are doing a GoFundMe for our IVF and surrogacy journey. And the cool thing about that is that with all those views, if everybody just donated like $2, we would hit our goals. So if you have it in your means to donate, please do so. And if not, shares are also welcome. So thank you for joining us in advance on our journey. And thanks for helping make some dreams come true. All right. So Paris Fashion Week. For those of y'all that are new here, my lovely wife, supermodel of the world, is an actual model. I know everybody says that she is beautiful. She's not just beautiful. She actually does model.
Oh, thank you,
And
baby.
she was invited out to Paris Fashion Week. So we spent 2 weeks in Paris and she walked 5 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, she walked 5 shows. So while we were there, we got into so much stuff. We spent the first part doing some vacation, touristy type stuff. And then after that, we did all the Paris shows. So before we get into that, is there anything that you would like to tell the people in advance?
In advance?
In advance. Any prefaces?
Buckle up, Buttercup.
All right. So to start things off, I want to get into my feelings of when we landed. You were recommended to have a car service pick us up and take us to the hotel.
Yes. So I was told by a client of mine that has been to Paris a few times. She had let me know that, especially leaving the airport, it's probably best if you have a car service like privately come and get you, because a lot of times when, especially out in Europe, if they hear an American accent, they start to jack up the price on like taxis and car services and all that. So she was like, to spare you from them charging you, just prepay for a car service to take you to and from the airport, because their one job is paid for already. They pick you up, they drop you off.
And with that, while we're driving from the airport to our hotel, which felt like 2 hours.
Oh my God, it took forever.
While we're being driven there, I'm watching the driver. Mind you, he is texting and driving this like group chat that he's got going on.
Yeah.
And me being a paranoid Polly, I think we're getting sex trafficked. I've seen Taken 1, 2, and 3. Terrible family. I don't know what y'all got going on there. But I'm like, I don't know where we're going, because I also like had the GPS taking us to the hotel on my phone, and it was not going the way that he was going. So that with the texting, I was like, something might be going down.
Roads.
I'm sure he knows the roads, but like, I didn't like the way those group chats were looking. It was a bunch of like emojis and some like weird words that I thought were codes. So I'm sitting there like, repping that we are going to stop and I am going to have to beat somebody. I don't know who or how, but I'm a big guy.
I was going to say, baby, the fact that you thought we were going to get sex trafficked is crazy, because
look at
it
you.
would take, but look at you. It would take a lot of men to take you down, babe.
Well, that's what I thought the texting was. They were like, this big ass black man, y'all better bring all the people y'all got, because he could take us. And I would have done what I could have, but depending on how many people they had, I don't know if I would have got it. I don't know if I got that dog in me, but
if it came down to it, you would for sure. No, I'd seen that like the website had like good reviews on like all their drivers, so that's why I wasn't too concerned. And then your thing with like the GPS, yes, I get that. Like I'm very like I follow on my GPS too when like an Uber comes and gets me, but at the same time, I feel like he knew the streets better than like the GPS because it's also like morning time in Paris. Everybody's going to work in and out of the city, so it took forever to get to our hotel. And we also stayed just north of Paris in Montmartre, and so it was a lot of winding alleys, roads, buildings, whatever. But there, I will say, on a separate time, I quite possibly also might have had a little thought too
see,
that we were getting trafficked or something because as I was looking at my reservation, because the guy had greeted himself and said he was Tom. And then we're sitting in the car and I'm looking at the reservation and that was not the name on the reservation. It was not Tom. So then I low key did for a split second have a thought as well where I was like, you're not the name that was on, and this is not the phone number that like, cause he had texted me too to let me know like he was there.
mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay. And then I looked at the number and I looked at the name and I was like, these don't line up. I didn't process that until we were in the car. So then I saw that I saw that you were following us on GPS. I was like, okay, well, Marvin's following us, but I didn't realize that you were seeing something different and was also tripping out about it.
Listen, I don't know how we got to that hotel, but we did. We're just some nervous Nellies and we watched too much television. But
yeah,
we made it to the hotel. Great hotel.
Oh my gosh, I love that hotel.
Dolly was the name of the front desk woman.
Yeah, okay. I think it was Dolly.
Yeah,
Loved
she
her.
and this other guy were both very good. They kind of like talked us through the city. They talked us where to go, like, where to avoid.
All the tea. She gave us all the info. She was like, if you want, she gave us like a whole paper of like restaurants and of course I know that's her job, but she even was just sitting there chatting with us and she was like, oh, if you're gonna go like over in that part of the city, don't take this train, that metro, don't go through there. Take this one instead. If you get caught up here, skip over here and do that. Like she was giving us all of like the navigation tools because we told her like it's our first time in Paris. We don't know where to go or what to do. So she like we couldn't even check in for a couple hours when we got there. And she was like, oh, there's a cute restaurant. You walk this way, you go down and right there and you just sit down and you have a good meal for, and then she was like, and then maybe if you come up, your room will be ready. And our room was ready when we came back. So it was perfect.
Yeah, they took really good care of us. And just overall, like the hotel itself was really nice. We had a teeny tiny little kitchen. It wasn't too far from a supermarket that we kind of frequented like every other day. But the only not bad thing, it's just there are so many stairs in Montmartre and it's fine going down. But after you've walked around this entire city for the entire day and now it's time to come back home and you have to go up all these stairs. We are dying. So if y'all are ever in Montmartre, just be prepared because you're going to get the workout of a lifetime.
Yeah, my calves have never looked better.
A Stairmaster could never.
The stone steps. And like, we didn't know that the city was on top of the hill. Like, we had, I think when we were there or right before we went, my client had told me or somebody had told me and they were like, oh yeah, it's the city on the hill. And I'm not thinking stairs though. I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. That's so cool. And they say that like there's the church there, Sacré-Cœur, that like looks over Paris and it's so pretty. And I'm still not putting two and two together that means we now have a hike of stairs every single time up and down.
Yep.
To go into Paris. And I was like, oh crap. Like even the trains, like the metro, you had to take, I would say even to get to like one of the metros, it was at least 4 flights of stairs or 5 flights of stairs down to find one of the nearest metros. But if you're not taking that metro to go to that part of the city, you got to walk down even more. I think Dolly had told us that from the train station or from like the metro to the hotel, I think it's about 6 flights. So like every day you're doing about 12 flights of stairs. And these aren't like, 10, 20 stairs. It is like, I couldn't even tell. Let me Google it because I'm curious how many steps is like some of the taller steps because it was crazy. There's 38 staircases in total. There's 2 main staircases to climb in Montmartre. The 222 steps that lead to Sacré-Cœur Basilica and the approximately 300 steps to reach the Sacré-Cœur Dome for panoramic views. Mind you, we were right next door to that church. We would walk out of our hotel, turn to the right, and there it was, the church. So yeah, we had some flights.
It wasn't fun, but we powered through, overcame, nevertheless, persisted. But not the very first thing, because of course we had to wait for the room to be ready.
Right.
But after the room was waiting, we had dropped off everything. The first thing that we wanted to do was see the Eiffel Tower. And from the hotel on this one side of it, you can overlook Paris. And we were able to see the Eiffel Tower from afar, which was really cool because we only see the Eiffel Tower in books and pictures or on television. So to be in Paris and see it even just from afar, I was like, this is really cool. And it doesn't feel real that the Eiffel Tower it's there, not within reach, but we're going to actually go see it one of these days.
Yeah.
And then I think the next day we went out to the actual Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, I think that very next day we were like, let's go explore the Eiffel Tower. Let's just see what it has. And we went because it's free to get in the underneath and look around. The whole surrounding area is free, and then to get in is free. You just wait in a long line, which actually wasn't too long. I will say there was one side that we saw that we were like, oh, that line is stupid long. So we were like, oh, let's just walk around a little bit and then maybe wait for the line to die down. On the other side, we had walked around and then we had seen that the line was shorter. So we were like, okay, let's go in on that side. And I would say it took maybe 20 minutes in line till we got underneath. And then you paid to go up in it. And so we went up to about the second, there's 3 floors in total. We went up to the second floor because the third floor was sold out for that time period that we were there. So we just went up to the second floor, which was still gorgeous. And we were perfectly fine with the second floor because the views were just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you can see literally everything. And just the idea, especially for me as someone who didn't really travel before I met Rachael, the fact that I'm just in Paris and I'm at the Eiffel Tower, I'm inside the Eiffel Tower, I'm seeing the little shops, I'm seeing all of Paris. You could see the Arc de Triomphe, you could see where they have the Olympic rings from when Paris hosted. It's crazy to actually be out there, and it's really beautiful, and it kind of puts things in perspective of how cool the world can be and just how small it is, really. Because even though it was a long flight, I'm at the freaking Eiffel Tower just taking pictures, being a tourist.
Yeah.
And it's so freaking cool.
Yeah, it was really cool for me too, because you said, this is something that you usually only get to see in textbooks or online and pictures. And so it was just, for me, it was very surreal to be there and seeing it. I had to really take it in. I had to just sit there and just stare at it for a while because I just wanted to process I am here, I am in front of it, I am inside of it. Wow, that sounds so creepy.
We were inside the Eiffel Tower.
But
weird.
It definitely was different than, of course it's different than seeing it on shows or TV or books or whatever. It was cool to also learn a little bit about the history of it, where the Eiffel Tower literally was a guy won a contest. Yeah. The king at the time wanted a new structure. And so he hosted a competition for all these designers, these architectural designers to create a massive piece. And I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Eiffel. And he created the Eiffel Tower. But then get this, he wins and had to pay for it. Isn't that crazy?
Hell of a prize.
He had to pay for the materials to build the Eiffel Tower. And I think all in all, it took about, what was it? I think at the time he said $5 or $6 million to build the Eiffel Tower, which in today's bracket would be I think they said $38 million, something like that. And the king at the time only gave him $1.5 million or $2 million for the entire project. And he came out of pocket for the rest of it and built the Eiffel Tower.
Listen, if you got it, you got it. Because now it's the Eiffel Tower. It's named after him, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I think I had seen there were all these names written on the edge of the Eiffel Tower, and it was like all of like the main people that helped like build the Eiffel Tower, like the bigger names that was like there from day one building it.
So from like one cool structure to another cool structure, like we said, we had the Sacré-Cœur like right outside of our hotel.
And don't come for us on the pronunciation. French is very hard.
This is a lot of letters, and none of them really like blend together the way that I know them to. So
no, it was very hard. I would look at a word and I would think I would know how that's pronounced, and then somebody would say it, and I'm like, absolutely not. That's not what I thought.
Yeah, y'all gonna get what y'all get.
Yes.
But seeing this church, it was really cool. There's what's so crazy about all these art is like it's so intricate and so detailed, and it's like, how do people build these things and like carve the little details and all the people and the faces and the name and stuff? And like this church was also one of those things where it's like it's so giant and beautiful. And we did a photo shoot outside of it for Rachael one night, and while we're taking these pictures, these two little girls who are on like a field trip.
They were from Germany.
Yeah, these two little your people, they just ran up to her and like gave her flowers. And I think, what did they like pick them from like one of the little things on their trip or something?
Yeah, like they were on a field trip. It was like a bunch of high schoolers and they were from Germany. And super cute. Like, so from my perspective, what you didn't see when you were taking pictures is there was a group of young girls walking and they stopped and they started watching me take photos, you taking the photos of me. Then I see them like leaving, like they were walking away. And then I see them turn around and look at me again. And that's when I was like, Marvin, you need to like record or take pictures or something because I think they're coming back. And then that's when these two of the girls in the group, they each had pink flowers, like just a cute little pink flower. And they just like came up and they gave them to me and complimented me. They barely spoke English, but you know, they just had said, you know, that I was beautiful. And oh my God, they were going to make me cry. They were the sweetest things. One of them, she was a redhead and she looked very similar to me, like could be my sister. And I'm like, what makes sense? Cause we're both German. And I'm not like, you know, full German, but I'm pretty strong German. And so it was crazy to just see like being in Europe and seeing people that like a lot of redheads, honestly, but they weren't from Paris. They were from different parts. And just seeing them, it just made me a little bit more excited because I don't get to see that often. And I don't get to see often from where my family comes from. And so I thought it was just like really cool to be able to see like another German redhead. Very beautiful. And then I took their flowers and they actually went perfectly with the rest of my photo shoot. And I just used them for my photo shoot because I had this, you know, this cream off like one shoulder flowy dress and it was more form fitting at the top and then kind of flowed at the bottom, and then I had like the church in the background and then these two cute pink flowers, and so I used them for the rest of the shoot because it actually went perfect, and I'm like glad that they gave them to me because I was able to use them, and I took them back and I had them in our hotel room like the rest of the trip because I was just like, it made me so happy. They had very beautiful souls and they were super sweet. So I followed them on Instagram and everything. They followed me. So we still like see each other's stories. And so it's super cute. And they were the sweetest.
Yeah, that was a really good moment. And just the fact that it happened, like, I love that for you because that just added on another layer to what the trip was. So that was fun. Then from there, I don't know if this is going to be the last beautiful thing that we got to see, but we saw the Arc de Triomphe and the Champs-Élysées. So the Champs-Élysées is kind of like this strip of stores that you can kind of do some shopping in. And I don't think we did any actual shopping from there because we had spent a lot of money on this trip. But just walking there, seeing all these like fancy stores, I think the Louis Vuitton store is like a luggage box. And then like the Adidas store is this like shoe box. And it's like, why don't we have cool stuff like that for our stuff? Like why everything just got to be in the mall? Like let's have some fun with these things, guys. Like let's take some architecture and make some cool stuff because the world is outdoing us.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. That Louis Vuitton store was so cool. It literally looked like luggage. It was just like a giant luggage box. And then, like, it's pronounced Adidas in Europe.
Adidas.
And it was just like this giant shoebox. And like, there was other stores too that I think that had other creative stuff to it. But those were the two most memorable ones, I think. But like Champs-Élysées, you walk down and then right at the end of it is the Arc de Triomphe. And what's really cool too, okay, so side note, I love history stuff. Like I love hearing how things were and what it was. And like I like history. So Champs-Élysées, or the Arc de Triomphe, where it's located, is perfectly placed because when people would come back from war, the victors would walk through the Arc de Triomphe down the streets so that people on the sides could, cheer as they came home. And they would walk all the way to the palace, which was like too far. I'm sorry. They
Way
just
too
came
far.
back from war and now they're walking all down this, like, it's miles. It's a few miles. It's like when we looked at the Eiffel Tower down, I'm looking at where the Arc de Triomphe was on one side, and then the palace is on the other side, the Eiffel Tower, because the king wanted the Eiffel Tower in view. So he put it like right at the end of the palace, like gardens and stuff. So then that way it's like in the view of the palace. So then I'm seeing where they had to walk from to enter the city to where they had to go all the way to the palace. And I was like, this is too much. I'm mad. My feet hurt. I just won a war. Let me go sit down. If I'm walking and I see my street while I'm walking, I'm just going to cut through and be like, all right, I'll see y'all later. I'm going to just go back over my house. Like, I'm not doing all that.
Yeah, because after you just fought for your country, the last thing you want to do is
Walk.
walk a marathon. I
Walk.
guess, like,
Like,
but whatever. But even the Arc de Triomphe, another thing that's all intricately detailed, like the names are on that, and as well as all these little faces and little naked babies and flowers and stuff. So seeing that, I'm like, how y'all got all this stuff over
I
in
know.
Paris?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, well, because their history runs deeper than United States.
But that's just crazy. Because, like, to be in Paris and you can go see the Eiffel Tower and the Arc de Triomphe, like,
Yeah.
in the same day. Like,
And Notre Dame.
we live in Tampa, and like, there's nothing we can go see just like out of nowhere, like on a whim. But like
Beach.
the beach,
We have the beach. Not a lot of
Miami,
people
they
in
got the
America.
beach.
And if we're talking American, not a lot of people have the beach in America or a good beach. So we have the beach
Who cares?
at this point after what we've seen.
But yeah, like I was saying, the details and everything, it's so cool to just see all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we didn't do like too much shopping, but like we bought food at so many places.
Oh, the food.
Like the food was so good, which reminds me, Paris, why the hell don't y'all serve me warm croissants? Y'all will bake these croissants first thing in the morning and then hand it to me at like 3:00 in the afternoon. Put it in some kind of heater or something, because I don't want no cold croissant. Like, warm it up for me. Give me the full experience. Let me live the fantasy.
They do be serving it cold.
Like, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. I took a lot of pictures of a lot of really good croissants, really good croissants, but they're all cold. And it's like at one of the places I bought like, if you've seen it, they're like viral or whatever, but like they'll take like a croissant, cut it open, put cookie dough in it. And like when I ordered it at this little like shop, the guy's like, do you want it warmed up? No, sir. I want cold cookie dough in a cold croissant. You see how that sounds, Mary? Warm my stuff up. Cold cookie dough. But no, besides the cold food, the actual stuff was very good. So, but besides food, the real reason we went to Paris was for Fashion Week. So let's get into all these looks and how the way this went. So I think before your first show, you had your casting call, right?
So, yeah, before the very first show that I was going to go to, I did have a casting call for a show. And we had went, and then it was at the actual like clothing store. And so we're standing in line, and I would say we were probably one of the first ones there. I think there was like maybe 6 people in front of us. So we got there pretty decent time, I would say, thankfully, because I think we went about an hour before to make sure that we were like in line. Cause I know these casting calls can get like line out the door type style. So we got in there pretty early, which made it really nice. Cause I feel like the timing that we went, like we had met honestly like 3 girls that I still keep in touch to now after the shows. And one of them, her and I feel like we clicked like super, super well. And I think you and I clicked with her and her significant other, which was great. And Coco, Noah, we love you guys.
Shout out to them.
and they're from the Netherlands. Super, super, super sweet. Love Coco. We also met Elizabeth and Melanie. And Elizabeth is Miss Belgium.
That's what
and
it was.
Melanie is Miss Canada. Both also super lovely women and love to hang out with them. So that was a great time. But yeah, I think we had met Coco and Noah and they were like super sweet. And while we were in line, I'm the one casting. And then I think it was Melanie and Elizabeth that looked over and was like, "Oh, are you casting too?"
I don't know what to tell you, but I'm in line with Miss Belgium and Miss Canada, and they're asking me if I am also a model. So I ain't saying I got it going on, but I got something going on over here.
You got something going on, baby. I'll tell you what, but you look good, babe. And they literally he was like, "Well, no, I'm here for her, supporting her. I'm in I'm in like he wasn't in like not casual, but like he was in nice clothing. But he wasn't in casting attire, like not all black. But neither was Miss Canada because she had just come from a photo shoot with like all her stuff. And they were trying to convince him. They were like, and I told him too. I was like, just cast, see what happens. Like, go for it. And he was like, no. Like this
I
her
am not
thing.
here
This is
to
not my
walk in
thing.
Paris Fashion Week. I've been walking my whole life, but the way that y'all do it ain't the way that I do it. But I was chasing that high that entire trip. I lived off that. Like y'all saying that I could also be a model, I will take it. And I have felt good since that moment, just so y'all know. So shout out to Elizabeth and Melanie. I needed that.
You could model, babe.
Could potentially, but I will clomp my way down that runway, and it is not going to be what y'all want to see. So
I feel like you could do more, which is what I'm trying to get into now. I feel like you could do more like campaign or print work.
Oh yeah, that I
like
can do because that's
print
just
model.
natural stuff. But like on a runway, I've never wanted to do a runway, but like I'll do a little commercial. I'll be on like the ads on the billboards and stuff. But that's the most I could do when it comes to modeling.
I guess. While being at Paris Fashion Week, I had found out that also one of my friends that I modeled with in New York Fashion Week was there. And so it was really cool because we were actually able to hang out for a little while. And then she was able to come with us and hang out with some of the other friends that we'd met along the way. So my girl, Layla, we modeled in New York. And then we were able to model in Paris. And so that was a lot of fun, I think, having just somebody that like you knew a little bit just around with you. It felt a little bit more comfortable for sure. And like we were able to go out to eat together. We were able to do like a small little mini photo shoot together. We were able to celebrate Melanie's birthday together, which was so fun. And we got to meet just a lot of cool people along the way that I definitely feel like we'll be able to know for a while. And if we ever are able to travel back to Europe, I definitely think we have a lot of friends to see and people to meet. There was, I mean, so many girls there and so many girls and guys that I met that were just super awesome. And I had a great time with them.
But that was just the casting for the first show. But your actual first show was where it got interesting because like 2 days before or the day before they switched the venue.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm not going to name drop any of the shows because I don't want any issues with y'all, but I had my first show. Very exciting. It was going to be like it was supposed to be on a glass rooftop like event hall that was going to have the Eiffel Tower in the background. So it was supposed to be this like really extravagant. They like even said in the email it promised, I think they said like influencers and then like 2 celebrities, like known celebrities that were going to be there. Like all the like, they're promising all this stuff. They had us like sign all these like contracts to make sure that we were going to be there, all this stuff. It was about 3 days before, I would say 2 or 3 days before the show. I get an email and they said that the location was moving. And I was like, okay, well, hopefully it's not too far. It was literally not even technically like in Paris anymore. And I have heard from other models that have worked with them or have heard of other models that worked with them before that this is a known thing that this company has done where they promise this big extravagant thing. And then like a few days before they say like, the venue messed up. It's not our fault. It was the venue's fault. So we're going to move over here and we're going to do this, that, and the other. But now that it's like, I'm hearing that it was like a pattern one, I don't think they ever actually had that place solidified. I don't think they actually had the venue. And then two, I don't think they had any celebrities. Three, I don't think they had any influencers. Like it was super sad too for like the designers mostly, I feel like, because at least for me, I had more shows. But for some of those designers, that was their only show. And also, these designers spent $20,000 to showcase on a runway that had maybe 20 people in this crowd because nobody wanted to come to the location that they switched it to 2 days before changing it. So basically, almost nobody showed up. We still put on a show. We got some photos, videos, pictures, whatever from it. But it was really sad because like I literally had like I went home and I think I cried. I think when we got back to the apartment or the hotel, I had cried because I was like, great, if this is what it's gonna look like for like my shows in Paris, I felt for a second, I was like, oh my God, if this is what it's gonna be, I regret coming here. Like, this whole production was basically a lie and promised all these things. And then I'm here and I didn't get a single one of those things that the production had promised. So I'm like, oh my God, did I just come here on a bunch of lies and all these other places are going to do the same thing? But thankfully, that was not the case.
No, that was just what the first show was. And like you said, you cried, and I had to like console you the best that I can and like do my best to tell you that like that was just this show
Yeah.
and the next shows will be better. Like it can only get up from here.
No.
And like no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. But some of the outfits, I literally texted you when I said that if this was a design challenge on RuPaul's Drag Race, they would all be in the bottom.
Yeah.
But then your next show was the much better one, right?
Much, much better. They were very well run. It was very well done. It was a 2 day. Those 2 days, basically, they had let us know in advance if we were already picked by designers. So if you already had if you were already pre-selected by designers, they shot you a message and they said, okay, here's the designers you already have. So when you show up, if they call your name, step up to the front. So when I got there, I think I got there around like 9 a.m. was model call. And what they did is they had all the models sitting there. They would bring in the designer they would just bring in the designers, I guess, one at a time, basically. And they were like, okay, this is designer such and such. Here's who they have currently selected. Please come up to the front. And then they would say, anybody who has not been selected, please stand up where you're sitting. And the designer will walk by and select you if they want you as well a part of their show, if they need more girls. And if the girls didn't show up, you didn't walk. So, or guys, there was a mix of girls and guys, but they said if the model was not there when they were on call time, you're not walking and they're picking somebody else and you have been swapped now. So they get really strict with that. So when I was there, I already knew I was walking for 3 people that day. I was pre-selected by 3 designers. And then while I was there, I was selected for, I think, 2 more on top of that, like 2 or 3 more. And also, I did not realize, unfortunately, because I had seen that I did have a 4th designer on the list. But when it was call time, they never called my name. And I don't know if they accidentally forgot. They never called my name. And so then I'm thinking, okay, well, then I guess they must have swapped me out for another girl, which is fine. Whatever. I'm still walking for like 5 shows. I would have had 6 shows because then right before I'm lining up for one of my shows, I'm hearing my name getting called in backstage. And I'm like, who's calling my name? And it was that designer. And they were like, where's Rachael? And I show up and was like, hi, I'm right here. But like, I'm in line with my other show. And then like one of the assistants was like, oh no, remember we swapped her out. And then the designer was like, no, I wanted her in my show. They accidentally swapped out the wrong girl. They wanted me and they wanted to swap out another girl. So it was a miscommunication on her and the assistant's end, which I was kind of sad about because their designs were so, so, so cool. But I understand that happens, whatever. I still had 5 shows. I was very blessed and thankful. Backstage was fun. I met a lot of fun people. And the shows were great. The venue was beautiful. And I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah, well, from that, I was very happy that you got a really good experience with that because I didn't want that first show to be the overall experience that you got because you don't deserve that. And
thank you.
None of the girls or even the designers deserve that.
No, seriously. Nobody a part of that deserved that. The people who run it, they are scam artists, let me tell you. And they also, I definitely feel like designers started to say something because then the production decided to send a mass message out to everybody and was like, it wasn't our fault that we had to move venues. This isn't our fault. Please do not come after us. It was the venues. They tried to throw it all on the venue and say that it was the venue's fault, which no, you had told us that this was the venue for what, 2 months we knew? So I was like, no, 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 no. That's a bold-faced lie. And so yeah, I definitely think they were trying to like scam people out of their money to I feel like they're trying to get more money and spend less money so that they can like hoard it. So that's on them.
Yeah. And another really cool thing, as we're going through the pictures and posting them, one of your friends, our friends, shout out sister-in-law, she sees
Bree,
that,
Bree.
yeah, shout out Bree. She sees that Troian Bellisario is in one of the pictures. And
Yeah.
if you know Pretty Little Liars, she plays Spencer in the show. And she's actually my favorite liar out of them. So the fact that she was there and I just happened to catch her in one of these pictures of you walking, I was like, this is very cool.
Yeah. That was
Especially
really
like
cool.
after the first show where like you were promised like celebrities, influencers, and then like this show, boom, actual celebrity is in the picture.
Yeah. No, I thought that was so cool. Like, because when I'm walking, I don't see anything but the lights in front of me and the cameras in front of me. Like, I feel that's when I always tell people like I go by Ray when I'm modeling because like I turn into a different persona when I hit the run. The minute I hit the runway, I am somebody else. Like I turn into somebody completely fierce and different. Like I black out basically. Like I don't remember my walks. I don't remember what I did, how I did them, nothing because I just like turn it on and like I'll be so nervous right before I step out on stage. The minute the lights hit me, I am Ray and I am like I don't even know what I am, but so I never even like I don't look out to the sides, nothing. I didn't see her there. So like I won't even know who's in the crowd until like later on in pictures when people start pointing people out that I'll notice. And it was amazing with that show. It was like I said, it was 2 days. And within those 2 days, I ended up in Vogue, Elle, Harper's Bazaar, Marie Claire, Glamour, Times Monaco, Times Swiss. Oh, what else? I feel like there was more.
I couldn't gotten that far if I was you.
But I just like with those 2 shows, it was definitely a night and day difference from my first one. And I didn't even know that I was gonna be in all those magazines. I had no idea I was gonna be in the pages. Like, and my agent, when all the posts started rolling in and we start seeing, because like the show was also very nice enough to like have a group chat with like as many models as they could get. And they were posting links to all of these magazines and they're like if you find yourself like if you're in here and I looked and I kept seeing myself in all these things and I kept sending them to my agent or my agent would find them too and send them to me and she literally goes I think this is the most I have seen someone get placed in magazines from like a set of shows. She's like I don't think I've seen more placement in one show ever. So I thought that that was really cool too because like I just every time I would open my phone she would send me a new hey, you're in Harper's Bazaar. I was in Harper's Bazaar I think 5 times. I'm not even joking, like 4 or 5 times. I was in it in my blue outfit, my yellow outfit, my black outfit and my white outfit and yeah, I think I was in it 4 times. Vogue, I was in 3 times. Elle, I was in once. Times I was in twice. So it's like I've only ever dreamed of being in this stuff. Like this has been bucket list dreams and I'm just like looking and I'm like it's so surreal to be like wow, like I can look back and be like I was in Vogue, I was in Harper's Bazaar, I was in Elle. And I don't know, like I did it on my own. I can't even lie. My agent was great to help me find these shows, but like how I got to Paris was on my own. And it happened by accident because the designer I was supposed to come for ended up unfortunately not being able to go, which totally was not her fault at all. But it set it up to where I was still, I hunkered down and I just started to find shows and I texted my agent and I was like, find me a show. I need to walk. So she was sending me stuff. I was casting for stuff like but my path in modeling, just as I've looked back, has always been self-produced. I've been in 2 New York Fashion Weeks. I've been in Paris Fashion Week now, like, and I've done it all on my own. And Paris Fashion Week, the more shows I got was just because I did have such a great Paris agent. Thank you, Britt, for helping me find those shows too. Like, she was great in helping me get more. And but before I even reached out to her, I was already casting, and so it's just like crazy to be like, wow, like throughout the years, like sometimes I feel like, did I do enough in modeling? And then I look back and see all the accomplishments that I've done in New York and Paris, and I'm like, wow, I did a lot, and it's really really cool.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you, baby.
And then just to briefly touch on it, because we went to the Louvre, but we weren't able to get in because I think tickets were sold out for that day. But
Yeah,
then, like a week after, it got like robbed. So,
it did. It did. A bunch of crown jewels were stolen.
so much stuff happens when we go on vacation. We have got to stay still so the world can survive.
I don't even know. It was just crazy. Like they literally got robbed. And I don't even know if they found out who had actually done it, but to me it seemed like an inside job
I
because
think it's confirmed it was like an inside job, but
I
how do you
knew
know?
it. I feel like it was pretty obvious though.
I mean, like the people, like how do you know of the people who did it?
Oh, I
So,
have no idea. No,
so
that was absolutely crazy. Oh my god, though. Wait, can we talk about my last show?
well, the last show I didn't get to go to because I
I
got sick. So I
know.
was down and out for like 2, 3 days, just shivering and everything.
Yeah.
You got to go to Notre Dame and take pictures out there, meet some
Yeah.
people, and then you had your final show.
So with Notre Dame, yes, I went by myself because you were unfortunately sick. I had the opportunity. I could have waited in line and gone in because you can either register, reserve online earlier, or you can wait in line. I found out when I got there was a line, but it was so long that it would take hours to just wait in line to go in. So I was like, I don't want to leave you for too long. I know you needed my help, so I actually just walked around Notre Dame because I just want to see the architecture and oh my gosh, it's I mean, just the outside alone is stunning. It's gorgeous. Unfortunately, it is still recovering from the fire that happened, I think, in 2019. And so when I was there, I think they only just recently also opened Notre Dame to walk through again because of all the recovery that they had to do with the building. And even when I got there, I still saw scaffoldings against the side of certain parts of the buildings, and they had cranes and everything. And they had shown on the sides of the buildings too, where you couldn't quite like walk up to it anymore. There were little facts about the building and like how they're restoring it, basically like all the pieces that were ruined. And what they're doing is they're like taking like a gargoyle, for example, they're taking a gargoyle down and then they're making like a foam mold of it, and then they re-sculpt it, and then they remove the foam and they put it back up. So unfortunately, a lot of the pieces are going to be newer, this century instead of back then, but there was still a lot of the original building left and like everything. So it was still beautiful to see, but it was crazy to kind of look up and like see some of like the window, like the glass windows, and like seeing some of them either shattered or warped. So it's one of those things that I always like play in my head of like, what would it have been like if I saw this pre-fire? And I always think about stuff like that where it's like, what if I was here in person before that happened? But yeah, they're doing a pretty good job of restoring it, but it is sad to like see. But what they are also doing, which is really cool, is they're taking like really clean tools and they're like cleaning all of like the old tapestries and the windows and the rugs and everything to pull the original color, which is gonna take them years, unfortunately. Cause like I saw this entire beautiful tapestry piece, but only like a corner of it. And it said that she worked on that for like months. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna take years to see. But I think one day when they actually get all like the color restored, I think that'll be really cool to see what it looked like back then. But it was beautiful. And I met a girl that was there. She took my pictures, I took her pictures, and then we became friends. Her name was Sasha. She was from Russia. She was really nice. I feel like a lot of the people there that I met was super nice. And I feel like what shocked you the most is that people kept thinking that I was from there.
You look like you're just from the Europeans.
Yeah. But it is just funny how it was like I think it cracked me up because people from Poland tried to speak to me in Polish. And then people from Germany tried to speak to me in German. And then people from Paris tried to speak to me in French. And it's like somebody had thought that I was Scandinavian. And it's funny because all of those are a part of my background. But it's like I'm a mutt of all of that. But like apparently I pick up features from each place just enough where people would speak to me in that language. And then they were shocked when I would say that I'm American. And they would literally be like, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be speaking with an American accent." And I'm like, "Yep, I am from America." Like, it would throw them off so much. Or like even when we got ice cream and the woman just immediately started speaking to me in French and was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, you just look like a French girl." So, but also I feel like it's the way I dress too. Like, I typically, like, my style is more European, and I kind of hate that living in America because I wanna dress more European, but then I feel like I get stared at even more when my style is more that, so I try to, like, tone it down or, like, Americanize my look, but I really enjoy a Parisian look. So my final show was also in a very gorgeous venue. There was actually a lot of celebrities that were staying at that hotel, so I was seeing, like, there was always a crowd of people outside waiting to see the celebrities, like, come out and go out and stuff. So that was really cool. But the venue was sweet, and I walked in. I want to say, yeah, I just walked in one show for them. I was in a very avant-garde, beautiful piece by a Polish designer, and um, I was in this, like, black slim dress with these 2 giant flowers, one on this arm and one on the other arm, and people were asking and commenting, they were like, "Was it heavy?" Can confirm. It was very heavy. Yes, I was carrying the flowers myself. The flowers were a separate piece from the dress. So it literally wrapped around my arms. Like, the back of it was vine, like a giant vine with thorns on them. The thorns weren't real. It was all like plush. But it was wrapped around my arm. So I had to hold the one piece here and then the other piece I had to figure out. I had to hold my wrist like this, but I had to keep my arm kind of like somewhat like pretty posed, but I had my hand like this. So my wrist was just stuck like this. And I didn't want to move because I was afraid it would mess up the whole overall look. So I'm like frozen like that. And my arms are killing me because I'm in line waiting to walk. But yeah, it was definitely a gorgeous piece. The designer, so sweet. She had some really cool avant-garde designs. So there was a few items that, like, whatever I wore in her collection, I was kind of like, that's really cool and unique and that would be awesome to wear. So, like, it was definitely fun. I wish you were there, but the venue was gigantic. It was huge and it was in this, like, very pretty, like, ballroom. But of course, any of the photos and videos from Fashion Week are on my Instagram. So at the end of the video, you will hear my Instagram dropped. So make sure you go check them out too, so you can actually see what all of the designs and everything looked like. Because it's definitely something to look at because they were gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I don't think I wore one piece that I was upset with. It was all beautiful.
Yeah. So that's Paris Fashion Week, guys. It's a lot of information, but if you ever find yourself in Paris, make sure you know bonjour, merci. They don't tip over there, so don't tip. Ride the metro. It's very easy to figure out.
Very easy.
Loved it out there.
Way easier than New York's metro
Mhm.
system. Like, way easier.
Yeah. And make sure you're prepared to do a bunch of walking, get some comfy shoes. Don't
Yep.
try to do too much on your first day getting there because
Nope.
with the time zone and a long flight, just if you have to take the nap, we took the nap and we were fine. But I know that's not the same for everybody. So if you have to stay up, go ahead and do what you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Paris Fashion Week. So that everything?
Yeah.
All hearts are clear.
Yeah.
All right. So that is Paris Fashion Week. A lot of fun, a lot of stories. Hopefully getting back one day. But until then, where can the people find you?
The people can find me on Instagram at rosegold_Ray, RAE, I had to burp. Or you can follow my nail page as well. It is Nails by Rachael, WRACHAEL. Or I'm also on TikTok and it's just Rose Gold Ray. What about you, Marvin? Where can the people find you?
You guys can find me at Marvin_Martian10. That is MARVIN_Martian, MARTIAN. Flip it around, Wicked Witch. Wicked Witch. Make sure that you guys follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Meant to Be Pod. And then, of course, if you guys need to send anything to us, our DMs are open, but so is our email at meanttobepod@gmail.com. So we're going to see you guys in 2 weeks where the time has come, and we're going to talk about some RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. We're going to meet the queens, and we're going to try to predict who's going to win Season 18. All right, so until next time, you can't love yourself. How the hell you going to love somebody else? Till next time, keep it real, keep it kind. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
I forgot. Link in bio, link in description. Donate to our GoFundMe for our beautiful mixed babies. Share if you can't donate. Link in description, link in bio. Mixed babies. 2 weeks. Keep it real, keep it kind. See ya.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody.